Hey guys, what's up? This is Tony with Food and Fitness Online. Check out my website, foodfitnessonline.com. I'm a registered dietitian and personal trainer. Today I'm showing you how I do my food prep. I got a request from the cage about how I do some of my food prep, so I'm just going to take you guys through just kind of a brief video of how I do that. First of all, I always like to start off with an option list. I'll figure out how many calories I need for breakfast. I like to make lunch and dinner interchangeable. This is for just ease, and so I don't have to keep making different things. And then I'll put on my snacks. Starting off, you'll start off with your target calories. Of course, you will have to go up or down depending on where you're going. And what I recommend, until you need to totally redo all the big meals in your meal plan, is to go ahead and let's say, for example, what I needed to do this week is I increased my calories by another 250. Is what I'm going to do instead of rewriting the entire meal plan is I'm just going to double up on my snacks, because that's around 300 calories of what I'm getting here. So that's the general overview. As far as meal selection and food selection, I recommend using things that have a lot of versatility. For example, you'll see in my lunch and dinners that I use chicken. For example, here's kind of like a barbecue chicken that I'll do, but later down here you'll see a chicken salad sandwich. In my breakfast column, I'll use chicken and quiche. I can also use it in my egg scramble. So try to pick something like chicken, that has a lot of versatility. Ground beef, I think, does really well. Today what I'm going to do is my main ingredients. I like to usually do a red meat and a white meat. I'm doing sirloin steak as my red meat, and I'm doing pork loin as my white meat. So I normally recommend picking out just 2 meats at a time. That way you can go ahead and get it used up before you move on to other things. That way we can reduce food waste. Excuse me. The other reason why we want to do this is just for simplicity. So here I have my steak, and my steak is going to go with my eggs. It'll go, you can also switch these out. So any kind of white meat or a relatively lean meat can be switched out with another lean meat. So I might have chicken, potato, and corn. I might just do steak, potato, and corn, and maybe use a little bit less butter because steak is higher in fat. So that's something you guys can get the feel of as you do this. So I'm going to cook up my steak. I'm going to cook this on the grill, just like you would grill a normal steak, to a medium rare. And then I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to store it in the refrigerator. My pork, the way that I'm going to prepare this is I put a little bit of olive oil on it and some barbecue seasoning. I'm going to start off by searing it on the grill to give it the grill marks, and I'm going to go ahead and finish it in the oven. As far as the carbohydrate choices, what I like to do is I like to use some things I'll prepare ahead of time, some things I'll do as I go. Tortillas are always really good. I can throw some steak in here, I can throw some pork in here, and have some pork tacos. What I'm doing right now is I'm cooking up this entire box of pasta. I'm going to dump this pasta sauce in it, and I got the water heating up on the stove right now. I recommend picking something like this because it's cheap, and I can go ahead and cook the whole thing, so that's there for me if I need it. This box of pasta only cost me $1. I think this was like $1.50. So even if I don't end up using it all in the next 7 days, it's a relatively low-cost food, and it's just nice to have it there for the convenience. I do my rice. I do instant rice, and I just cook this as I go. Potatoes, I cook these as I go. I just bake them in the microwave, and if I do happen to have the grill on, I'll finish them on the grill. Sandwiches are always a really good choice, so this week what I'll be doing, instead of my chicken salad sandwich, which I have here, I'm just going to do a barbecue pork sandwich, and instead of mayonnaise, I'm going to use barbecue sauce and toast my bread and put it on there. So the meats I'm going to always cook ahead of time. The carbohydrates, I'll cook them as I go. If it's something like boiling the bag rice, this I'm going to go ahead and cook up now, because when you add the pasta sauce to it, it's fine as a leftover. So my choices going in behind that is what will taste good as a leftover and what will have a higher flavor profile if I cook it as I go. The other thing is, of course, vegetables. I don't have all my vegetables pulled out for the week, but what I'm going to do with my vegetables is I'm not going to cook these ahead of time. I'm just going to prep these ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and skin and dice my onions. I'm going to go ahead and wash and cut my broccoli and my pepper, and I'm going to have that ready to go. So when I get my meal, for example, let's say I wanted to do my pork loin with vegetables, so I'll have my pork loin already cooked. I can do a side of pasta with that. It only takes me about 10 minutes to saute the vegetables in the pan. So these are things that I either plan to do when I get home, or if it's something I need to take to work, I might just go ahead and put it on a sandwich and I'll wrap that up. And of course, salad is always an easy way to add vegetables to your dinner or to your lunch without having to even cook anything. As far as what I do for snacks, I try to make these things convenience foods. So for example, what I do up at work is I go ahead and I keep all of these ingredients in my desk or in my refrigerator at work, and I just eat these as I go. I like to do this instead of having to prep my snacks here. I can always just go and get these from the grocery store, and I can go from there. And one thing also to consider on your meal plan is incorporate a few things that you may just eat for pure enjoyment. You see I have Oreos on here. I also have a booze column. In case I want that, I can just have something I can go to it and fit within my profile. So I try to stick to this about 90% of the time. If I do have plans to go out to eat or something like that, I'll just try to use my best judgment and common sense. But this has been working for me really well. And I've only had to really cook a dinner at home, maybe 1 or 2 nights out of the week. So this is